Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Raquel Lee Las Vegas and I am Raquel Lee. If you've seen the other videos, yes, my hair is a different color. The color is called smoky blue. We're rolling with it, seeing how we like it. I was kind of going for that like storm look. Can you tell? No? Okay. Well, anyway, that's what this is going on. But for those of you who are new, hi, welcome. Hope you enjoy. We're jumping right in. So today I'm actually talking about it's of course, big shocker. It's a relationships topic, but I'm going in a little bit deeper because I had a very interesting weekend. Hope everybody else's weekend was just as eventful and fun as mine. But and it's not the first time I've heard this, but just in general, I kind of want to touch on it because I feel like so many times people talk about this subject, but they don't really like dive deep on it. And it's more in depth on the concept of like taking your ex back, not taking your ex back, all that kind of thing. But it's everything as a whole. So me saying that, I am specifically speaking to men and women. This isn't gender specific, it's situation specific. This more is on the subject of the cheating aspect of taking somebody back. And so here we go. When you're in a relationship and your significant other cheats on you, at that point, it is your choice whether you're going to, stay with them or get rid of them. Now, if you've been in a very well-seasoned relationship and something like this happens, I'm not saying that all these choices are easy and it's just snap, crackle, pop. It's just that easy. You can just say, oh, okay, well, I'm not going to deal with you anymore. Or, oh, okay, I'm going to forgive you. Like, I understand it's a process. It's hard and it happens to everybody. Again, I speak from personal experience along with, several thousand gajillion, okay, maybe not that many, but other things that I've been around. If you are in a relationship and you choose to take that person back after they've done whatever XYZ is, typically it's cheating, but everybody has their own different reasons. But if you choose to take that person back, guess what? That doesn't mean you get to keep on, berating them with the same thing or bringing up the same thing that you just chose to forgive them for. I'm being so 100% serious because everybody talks about this like, oh yeah, well, I forgave him, but then, or her, sorry, got to put that out there, him or her, oh, I forgave them, but then every time something goes wrong, because I'm not saying that every relationship is perfect, some relationships argue more than others, some don't, but when it does come down to that, they use the past transgression as an excuse to treat their partner a certain way or use it as a manipulative tool on their partner. You can't do that, people. You cannot do that. I mean, if you want to do it, hey, that's all fine and dandy. I'd love to see how long your relationship lasts after that. And if it works for you, please tell me, because I want to know who this works for. I'm not the person it works for. And I don't agree with it. I don't condone it. It's not my thing. But 100% serious. Like, I have a friend that his lady cheated on him. They've been together for like 10 years. His lady cheated on him way back in the beginning of their relationship. And, they had their issue. They didn't even break up, I don't want to say. I mean, they had a few days where they weren't talking and they were, of course, dealing with that situation. And this is obviously me trying not to use their names, but they had their issue, and then later on, every time there would be any time to question, like if she came home too late, or if she wanted to go hang out with her friends, or if she wanted to do just about anything, all of a sudden it was, oh, well, you're just the same as you always been, da da da. Like he would go off on her based on the fear that she was going to make that same mistake again or punish her continuously for that mistake. And then on the flip side, same thing. I had a guy friend who cheated and his girl was doing the same thing to him. I'm just saying that so that you guys do realize it is on both sides of the spectrum, but same behavior, same core behavior. That's not okay, and let me tell you why. When you do that, not only are you belittling your partner, but you're also tearing down their confidence, and then you're tearing down the energy that they would otherwise be putting into you. You have to have a level or form of trust in your relationship. I'm not saying that automatically believe or do anything that, you know, isn't conducive to your relationship and vice versa. I'm just saying that you and your partner need to have open enough communication that this isn't something that's an issue. Another situation is when and this kind of sucks because a lot of people do it, but in how you choose to fix that situation. Okay, the worst thing, in my opinion, again, if y'all watched my last video, I don't have children, but I have a lot of friends that do have children. I've been in similar situations prior to no longer having children, this, that, and the third. If you want to know the details, watch the other video. But having a baby is not the end-all be-all to fix situations. Sorry to tell you, if you're married, if you're not married, if you're engaged, if you're dating, whatever it is, a baby is not the way you fix a situation. Okay, if so-and-so cheated on you and then you choose to have a relationship with that person, okay, well, first of all, you made the choice to stay. Don't have a kid and then sit there and be like, well, I'm still blaming you for this, that, and the third, still treating your partner that way, because guess what? Now the baby is going to pick up on that. The baby is going to think that that is how a relationship is supposed to be, and you don't want that either. Aside from the ins and outs of what's causing you to act like that, this is why that's something that should be nipped in the bud before you have a kid. Kids don't make situations better. From a marriage standpoint, if you have a rocky, dysfunctional marriage, all the baby is going to do is be a buffer to make you more stressed out and more, unavailable to deal with the actual core problem, which is whatever the dysfunction is in your relationship. That is just a thing. That's a fact. That is just how it is. I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but I'm speaking from a 100% real place. You cannot use the kid as a manipulative tool in your relationship, nor should you be manipulating a relationship to begin with. Those two are the major things as far as breakups and things like that seem to be the most of the factors. I have a lot of friends that have kids that had kids by choice, and then I have a lot of friends that had kids that were just not being careful and did it by accident. But the problem with those situations is a lot of people feel like, and I have to put this out here too, your choice in having a child is completely up to you. Just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Don't do it because, oh, well, I've been with this person for so long, I guess it's time for us to do that. No. That's, if it's not something that you truly feel is the right choice, you shouldn't do it. And that's not to say that if you're already in the process, like second guess it, think about it. No, that's not what I'm saying. And if you already have kids, just, hey, it's your choice and how you want to continue. But I'm just saying, if you have them, please understand that everything that you're doing, they're absorbing. So they didn't ask to be here. They didn't ask to be thrown in to the crap that is going on in your relationship. If you have things that are unresolved in your relationship, deal with that first. And again, going back to like the cheating thing, if you chose to stay and then all of this came out of it, okay, well, that was your choice. So either you're going to do what it takes to make it work, or you're going to have to let that go. And for those of you who already have children and didn't do that, that's another thing that you have to sit with yourself and really decide, because what's really best for you is whatever is also going to be best for that child as well. Like if you're in a dysfunctional relationship, unfortunately, sometimes you guys have to separate. And that's not a bad thing. It just means that you two aren't functioning together anymore in the best way that suits your relationship and your child. So those are all things that need to be taken into account. I I don't want to say that everybody is the same. I'm just saying that I've been around a lot of the exact same scenario, whether it be guy, girl, girl, guy, 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 girl, girl, whatever it is. I've been like obliged to see all aspects of this, and all of the outcomes are the exact same. And usually what happens is people let that fester. Sorry, I hate the word, but they let that fester, and then when it comes time to actually address the problem, it turns out much worse than it would have been had y'all just come to that conclusion to begin with, whether y'all were going to be together or not. So putting all that out there, the core information to take from this video is that, number one, if you're in a relationship and you kind of don't know how you feel because something is just not right about your relationship, take time to figure out what that is and address it before you decide to go any deeper with said relationship, because all you're going to do is somebody's going to get their feelings hurt worse than they already are. If it's time for you to take that step to walk away, be confident enough in yourself to do that, and know that you're doing what's best for you, because what's best for you may not always be best for the other person, but it's about you. It's about your mental health, your mental wellness at the end of the day. And same thing goes for those of you who have children or are thinking about having children, and vice versa, all that kind of stuff. You gotta be sure that if you're making that decision, that is a very large decision to make. I said prior in another video that I'm not against it, but I'm not necessarily for it right now. It has nothing to do with the relationship between my husband and myself. It's just because there's certain things I would like to have in place or have more securely before bringing a child into this world. And a lot of that has to do with just the world itself, not even just our personal status or anything like that. And that's our choice. But I feel like a lot of people kind of get dragged into the usually parental, where are my kids? Where are my grandkids? I want to see them. Like they feel like they're under pressure to do that. And you shouldn't be. And like I said, for those of you that do have kids already, I don't want you to feel like you made this horrible decision. That's not what I'm trying to do by making this video. It's just to point out that if the person you chose to have a child with is no longer working with you for the best outcome of that child and you, then it's time for you to take some time to yourself and decide whether that's really what you want. Because again, your kids are going to watch and absorb everything that you put in front of them. They're sponges, especially when they're at infancy. There's little things that they're going to hold on to and remember for the rest of their lives. There's a lot of people talk about, like in psychology, when they do those sessions where some people do hypnosis, some people just, are good at, channeling that energy, however you want to put it, channeling those former mindsets. And there's a lot of things that unconsciously are embedded in you that you don't even realize are so much of the reason why you are the way that you are, why you perceive things the way that you perceive things. And some people are a lot more damaged than others, and some people are a lot more wonderful, I guess. I don't know, that's a terrible way of saying that, but I mean, you get where I'm going. Like you don't want to unconsciously be projecting all this negativity out on your child or your partner, all because you erratically decided to make a decision that you weren't 100% okay with. It all boils down to the same thing. Take time for yourself to really be aware and really be ready to make all the decisions that you're making, whether it be in choice of staying with your significant other when they do something crazy, or when you've already got a child in the mix and choose to stay with your significant other because their regular energy is crazy. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you, and there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that at all. There are plenty of people that co-parent and coexist just fine, or that are divorced and still have wonderful relationships outside of their previous situation, and all of their kids turned out fine. They all work just they function beautifully. It's the most amazing thing. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. But the only reason I feel like it doesn't happen often is because people aren't taking what I keep saying. Take that time for yourself. Please do that. If you do nothing else, take time to make sound, clear decisions. Don't base it off of what somebody else wants you to do, what you think you're supposed to do, or because you're too scared to start over. Please don't do that. I did that and it blew up in my face in the worst way. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the previous video. I totally went there. But I'm just saying, y'all gotta stop making it okay to just be in any kind of situation, be treated any kind of sort of way. This is why people are always talking about self-confidence, self-worth, self-love. All of that ties into the choices that you make and how they affect those around you. So something to keep in mind, just putting that out there. And I don't want it to sound like it's all like super gloomy, because it's not. It's not meant to be a negative thing that I'm putting out there. And if you take it that way, I totally apologize, because it's completely nowhere near what it's supposed to be. It's just supposed to be something to kind of be like eye opener and be like, oh yes, that's what I should be doing. I should take a little bit of extra time next time to really decide whether that's a good decision or not, or look back at some of your prior decisions in previous relationships and see how, if you did do those things, how they affected it. If you didn't do those things, how it affected it. Just something to think about. Until next time, I will see y'all tomorrow. Inspire daily, empower daily. Repeat that process once a day, every day, and I will see you tomorrow.